of them, but don't.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Oh, are we live? Hi.
I don't know on my end.
We've been live for like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
There we are.
Don't talk
live.
about Phil that way. He's a good guy. I know he goes to...
Oh, my goodness. Welcome
Phil
to the Danter
joking,
Banter. Hi, everybody. It's good to be back and seeing everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got Candace in the house and the freaking Oracle. I can't do it the way he does it. It hurts my throat.
The freaking Oracle.
The freaking Oracle. That's Ken down below Tim. And, of course, you got Tim Danter and myself in the house. How is everybody doing tonight?
Peachy.
I'm doing great.
You got the fall theme going on there, Candace.
I do. I had to actually throw up a blue screen just so I could wear this green shirt.
Oh, dear God.
I
Is
know.
that contagious?
So much work.
Oh, my goodness. I just wanted to say hi to a few people in the chats. We got Gary in the house, and Jill's here, and Phil, and Marie Claude, and Eric. It's good to see everybody. If I haven't said hi to you yet, hello, hello. Feel free to message us in the chat. Gary wants to know what we're talking about tonight. What are
so,
we
Gary, the
talking
first
about?
question that we're going to do now, I can't see Gary's hands, but to the crew and the community that's with us right now, I just asked Candace this question, and we wanted to pose it to everyone else. What is the proper name for the stem on the pumpkin?
It's really freaking good. I wonder if anybody... Ken, do you know what it is?
He's Googling it now.
No, he's
muted. He's muted.
He's
Yeah,
muted.
He's the strong silent type.
He just committed mutiny.
Oh, mutiny. Oh, there's Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Jesus.
Okay, so Candace, you think it's called what?
I have no absolutely banana fuddling clue.
Yes. Gary got it.
The peduncle.
Gary got it. It's called a peduncle.
Oh.
I have no idea why it's called a peduncle. But
you know why we all know this? Because we all had children that went to the pumpkin patch, and they teach you that at the pumpkin
Spring Ridge
patch.
Farms, right up
I had an uncle named Ted, so he was a Ted uncle.
A peduncle. You kind of have to say it fast. Peduncle. Peduncle.
Yeah, there we go.
Peduncle.
Moving on.
There
I
you
don't like that word, man. I do
Why?
not like that word.
He likes
Why?
simple syllables.
Why don't you like it? Can you say it? Let's hear you say the word.
Well, Ped uncle.
Why do you always go there?
I just see it. Ped uncle.
Are you
His mind works
thinking?
in mysterious ways.
See, Gary knows. Spring Ridge Farms explains it all to us. I'm not sure it was Spring Ridge that I went to, but it was up there. It was the one. I was Andrew's.
I was with Billy
Scenic.
Stone on a class trip.
I know, but I thought it was Andrew's Scenic Acre. Was it Spring Ridge or Andrew's Scenic Acre?
Let's call it Spring Ridge for tonight because I really don't have the tape from that far back.
Oh, so Ken and Jill don't like the name because it reminds them of pedophile, but it's peduncle.
I never thought of that. Never went there, but now they've just ruined Halloween for me.
Oh. Anyways,
Uncle Gary's here.
Oh boy, why'd you have to say
imagine
Uncle
if you
Gary?
just alcohol to that? Good Lord.
Oh heck. Okay, so I don't have a lot of topics, but there has been a lot of stuff in the news to talk about. So I thought tonight we would talk about maybe some of the current events going on and getting everybody's opinion on things. And I just don't even know where to start because there's so darn much. Now I haven't listened to the news today, so I didn't know if there was an update at all about. Let's just dive right into the Putin debacle.
Oh.
That he had that weird vote that wasn't really a vote, because I don't know how you can count it as a vote when there's guys like military men with machine guns standing at the door, so you don't actually come out to vote. So I'm not sure how that's.
Yeah, but don't forget those votes always with guns range a lot, so.
Anyways, and so it just seems very peculiar to me that a leader can just go in and decide these places are now mine.
Yes, but there's even a more disturbing part of it. Because in Putin's mind, he has annexed that part of the Ukraine. When the Ukraine sends missiles into it, that is basically one of those things he warned against. He warned the great repercussions if missiles hit Russian land, and that he now sees that as Russian land. So if American missiles come down there that Ukraine is using, that could be a justification to escalate if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
Is it because he's losing? Is that why?
This was his plan all along. He's trying to rebuild the Soviet Union.
I think he wasn't expecting. I think he bit off a bit more than he can chew. And that's why he's been sort of scrambling as he's been going.
If he can rebuild the Soviet Union, that'll be the perfect curtain to keep NATO away from Russia. Think about it.
Do we think
his issue is NATO's too close, right?
Yep.
So
do we think he's getting close to like nuclear armaments at this point in time? Do we think he's that crazy that he's going to go there?
Worst case scenario, he might use maybe one tactical nuke on the Ukraine. But here's the thing. When you hear the word tactical nuke, people start thinking giant mushroom clouds. It's not that bad. Like if you take a regular nuclear bomb that you would drop on a city, a tactical nuke is about 1,000 times smaller.
Yeah.
So it usually only kills people in a smaller area. So it's not one of these big, he just destroyed a city nuke. It's something smaller, used usually against troops. That's what they're designed for. So minimal radiation. There's still radiation though. What he might be more inclined to do is create a nuclear disaster. Just take out one of those nuclear power plants. And that will do much more damage than a tactical nuke without people saying, oh, he nuked them.
This is scary stuff, This is really, really scary stuff.
Well, was North Korea firing that
missile
over Japan? I mean, well, what are you doing with that? I mean, what kind of message? What do you do? What are these guys doing? Are they just what is their end game? Are they trying to control the stock market? Are they trying to control and disrupt the North American free world economy? What are they trying to do exactly? What's their point other than they're bored?
I think in the case of North Korea, it's more or less just don't forget about us type missile.
Why? Because Putin's taken all the limelight? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And nobody's even talking about North Korea anymore, and Kim is that person who wants that limelight. Even if it's the infamous limelight, he still wants it. So it's like, okay, how can I get myself back in the news? I'll just fire a test missile let's go over Japan, make them all scurry into their holes. And, and now people are talking about him again.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy stuff.
Yeah. And as Jill said, it's a signal of strength at the same time.
Yeah. Hey, Redbeard's in the house. How are you doing?
I wonder why, it's a stupid question, but I'm going to throw it out there just for the hell of it. Why the US or Britain or someone else doesn't just throw out a test missile as well, just fly it out over the ocean or whatever the case is, just to say, yeah, we got them.
They don't need to. Everybody knows. I mean, the US, their capabilities are well known. Everybody knows they can hit any place on the earth that they really want to. So they don't have to send a test missile over top of somebody to say, hey, look, I can hit you if I want to. They already know that they can.
Yeah.
So there's no real gain from doing something like that.
Plus, they're probably expensive.
Well, they're expensive as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't.
And then you got England with a new leader, just lost their queen, so they're in mourning. Got a new leader that's doing some wonky-do stuff with the economy over there. She's doing the exact opposite of what you should be doing in this situation. So practically tanking their stock market. So what the heck? What's your take on that?
Well, I think right now, I wouldn't even worry about what they're doing over there. The whole world right now is going to really start feeling the energy bite because we're heading towards the colder season. And we had OPEC basically reducing production by 2 million barrels. That's a big news. So you're going to be looking at gas prices going back up. You're going to be looking at much more energy shortages. I even read something in the paper today, well, online, that was saying that they're looking for people to sort of voluntarily use less AC in the summer in Ontario, because they're trying to just find ways to save on energy, because that's going to become, energy is going to become that new currency. That
we don't need to save energy. We can just stop selling our surplus to the US.
well, but the problem is, though, we can't produce, we can't do anything with our own oil. We don't have the production facilities. We need those production facilities so that we can refine our own oil, instead of having to send our crude to someplace else, have them refine it and then sell it back to us at a profit.
Well, we do have oil refineries here in Sarnia, and it's in Canada.
Yeah, but we're talking about some of the bigger distillations. So there's still a lot that we don't have. A lot of capabilities that Canada just simply does not have.
Yeah, they just shut down a big refinery here out near us in Oakville, the Petrocan, which is, I think, I don't know if it's Suncor or there's a big company out of Texas that owns part of Suncor. So Suncor was split in two, or Petrocan was split in two.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. I at the conference I was at just recently, one of the guest speakers was talking about the best place to live in the world is going to be two optimal places to live in the world. And this was an offline conversation he had with us. And he said, because what people aren't completely looking at right now, and that they should be, is that the southern United States is not going to be livable. It's going to be way, way, way too hot down there. And they're not going to have the energy grid to support the amount of air conditioning that's going to be required to live down there comfortably. And even if you saw like what just happened with the devastation with, Hurricane Ian going through there, like it is unbelievable. But this is what's happening. And you want to know why that Ian got so powerful, because when it circled back in, it was hitting the Gulf, and the water was 90 degrees. Like the reason we don't get hurricanes in the Pacific Ocean is because the water doesn't heat up like that. The water was hot. That's borderline hot tub water.
Yeah. Although you do actually get hurricanes in the Pacific Ocean, but
you do, but they're less common.
They're less severe. They're not as, they're definitely not the big show like you have in the Atlantic.
Right. And look at, Gary says he's got a friend who's got a home in Fort Myers, and it's running on 2 AC units. Like, you think about what was happening in Texas last year, where they had the brownouts, and then they had the bad energy crisis in the winter when their grids went down. Anyways, I don't know. So this guy was saying that there's going to be two optimal places in the world to live. And he said that one is in Norway and the other one is in Canada. So I'm going to get you to take a guess in the approximate region where he says in the future will be the most optimal place to live. And then I'll tell you why he thinks that.
I'm not going to guess because you've already told me.
Oh, I already told you. That's right. Yeah. I did tell you.
Told me too.
So Ken, where do you think this is a game between you and
Bitcoin, me? But for some Bitcoin, I'm sure you could pry it out of me.
I think we actually discussed this on my stream on the weekend.
Really?
Yeah, it was either that or it was on Nay's stream about the Norway thing.
Yeah.
So Norway is definitely going to be one of the key places and not just everywhere in Norway. There's a key area, just like not everywhere in Canada. There's a key area that's going to be the most desirable in the world to live. And it has to do with sunlight, availability of fresh, clean water, an extended growing season. And because you think about it, if everything starts to heat up and it starts to creep up from the southern part of the United States and get warmer and warmer and warmer, it might not be the place that you think. So where do you think?
Well, I know Phil just guessed the province of Ohio, but no, it's not that province.
Yeah, no, Phil, that isn't that one. And Marie Claude, it is not the Appalachians in Quebec, nor is it the Yukon. Jordan's trying to say Russia. No, it's definitely in Canada. So it's not, it's in a spot in Canada. So Marie Claude thinks it's Sarnia. No, not Sarnia. It's going to get hot there.
My first guess was Calgary, just because you had the protection of the Rockies, but that's not it.
Yeah. Redbeard's guessing the Okanagan. It's not the Okanagan.
No. They have a monster in the Okanagan, just not safe. Ogopogo can get you anytime, anywhere.
Oh my goodness, the Ogopogo. It actually is in and around the Winnipeg region. So on either side of Winnipeg. So like all the way over Kenora, Thunder Bay, all the way to the other side. So go to the Winnipeg region on a map and have a look. And right in that area, he said it has to do with the availability of clean drinking water. They definitely have winters there and a lot of snow, but that adds more to the fresh water table replenishment. They get sunlight, a proper amount of sunlight, which extends, and they're far enough south in Manitoba that he went on about all the reasons that, anyways, so my goodness, you know, the price of homes in Winnipeg is somewhat reasonable. And if we were very forward thinking people, and that's going to be a very desirable place to live in the future, maybe we should be investing in real estate there.
I know a lot of people who make up those lists of the best place to live. You know, Winnipeg usually falls flat.
This is shoot forward. Think when the earth heats up, where do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And we might have killed off all the mosquitoes, Tim, with the heat. Redbeard saying Winterpeg.
Mosquitoes are really resilient. They'll probably mutate into something worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, just look at Jurassic Park, how that little stupid thing froze and then came back to life.
Well, I don't know, though, because Ontario has over 250,000 fresh lakes.
Well, so go to where Winnipeg is, Ken, and draw.
Yeah, no, we
draw
did
a line. Draw a line across and around in that sort of bar area. That's why I said Thunder Bay, because there's, like, you think about Lake Superior is touching there. There's a lot of fresh water in that lake, a lot. You'd have to, like, massive problems would be happening if we started to really drain that thing. I can't even remember all the statistics on Lake Superior, but I'm going to see if I can Google it. There's some crazy, incredible statistics about Lake Superior. I'm going to say Lake Superior facts, because it's just, it's unbelievable. 10 facts about Lake Superior.
See, all I know about Lake Superior comes from a Gordon Lightfoot song.
Edmund Fitzgerald.
I know. How about Lake Superior contains 10% of all the of all planet Earth's fresh surface water. Think about that. 10%. That's a lot of water. It covers 82,000 square kilometers with an average depth of 147 meters or 483 feet. The deepest point in the lake is 405 meters or 1,333 feet. That's a lot of feet of water. Okay, take a guess at how many shipwrecks are recorded on Lake Superior.
4,312?
Well, that's relatively high and very, very specific. Ken, take a guess at what you think.
Oh, I have no idea. Thousands.
There's been 350 shipwrecks recorded in Lake Superior. And Lake Superior is known not to give up her dead. Over 10,000 lives have been lost in her waters.
Ew.
I was counting the unrecorded ones.
That's not a chicken bone.
Too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so Lake Superior is, by the surface area alone, the largest lake in the world. Okay, now get this. It contains as much water as all the other Great Lakes combined, plus 3 extra Lake Eries. So there is enough water in Lake Superior to cover all of North and South America with water 1 foot deep. That's a lot of water. There are 78 different species of fish that call the Big Lake home. And the maximum wave ever recorded on Lake Superior was 9.45 meters or 31 feet high. And here's the other one. If you stretch the shoreline of Lake Superior out in a straight line, it would be long enough to reach from Duluth, Minnesota to the Bahamas.
Okay.
And they have over 300 streams and rivers empty into Lake Superior, with the largest source being the Nipigon River in Ontario. Anyways, so we can go on and on and on. There's a ton of facts on this. But at the end of the day, if you're looking at the most desirable place, one of the things that you want is clean drinking water. And this is going to be a problem. You think about the southern United States right now. You think about Lake Mead. Tim and I went and visited Lake Mead when we were first married. That thing is practically empty. They found dead bodies in there. They found boats in there. They found all sorts of things at the bottom of Lake Mead. And you think California can't get beyond its drought. There's been some bad droughts. My girlfriend, who has the cranberry bogs up in Massachusetts, she said it's been the worst 2 or 3 years from a drought perspective. And cranberries, they don't need a boatload of water, but they need water. They still need water. The roots will dry up, and they're part of the Ocean Spray Cooperative, and so they're one of the farmers that grows for Ocean Spray. So you can have your nice cranberries in the little jar, or you can have your cranberry juice or whatever. But she said it was really, really bad. And harvest season, you need a boatload of water to get those berries up and to be able to harvest them. Like it's bad. And people aren't talking about it because we're so busy focusing on Putin declaring that these places are his and, North Korea shooting missiles. We're not talking about the fact that we have drought problems in North America.
Well, see, that's one of the topics Nay was talking about the one day. And he was mentioning the whole collecting rainwater and sending it to drought places, right? And that's where he found out that in Florida, it's illegal to collect rainwater.
Come on.
Why?
It's illegal. I don't know why. I guess.
Yeah, but it's also illegal to sing underwater in Florida, too.
Goody wants to know if the fish in Ontario are filled with lead weights like they are in the U.S. I didn't know they were filled with lead weights.
Only after they're captured.
Oh, right. There was that story about that.
Yeah,
oh,
the
boy.
fishing derby. Yeah.
So Marie Claude wants to know. Marie Claude wants to know what that story is. So maybe you can explain about the fishing derby story.
Oh, it was just people putting lead weights in the fish when they were getting them weighed for the derby. That's all it was. Became a big thing though because these fishing derbies are taken very serious. Like these fishing anglers they're serious people. So it ticked off.
How would they have ever discovered that, for instance?
I don't know. I never read the story.
Like, I didn't know that obviously after they're caught, then they weigh them and all that stuff. Do they immediately start slicing them open? And
I have no idea.
No, but I imagine that if you're a weigher of fish and all of a sudden you have a fish that probably should weigh 5 pounds and it's weighing 6, you might be like thinking, well, there's something wrong here. That fish is weighing a bit more than it should be.
Hey, that's like filling the old gasoline tank with cement in your car when you take it to the dump. So you get more weight and you get more money, right? It's the same idea.
Oh, boy. We do some strange things as human beings. Oh, yeah. Apollo said they were too small compared to the rest of that weight. So there you go, Candace. Your hypothesis is correct.
As it should be.
I think what freaked me out was the power of Mother Nature when you saw Tampa Bay was absolutely drained of water.
Mm-hmm.
Like where did the water go?
And how it was all sucked out?
I know, but it's like, okay, if it's being sucked out, someone's got to be on the other end of that and getting it. Like,
that happened here when I was a kid in the St. Clair River. all of a sudden the river washed out. You could walk out past the docks and it was just all sand. There was fish flopping and stuff, and it lasted 45 minutes, and then the water came back in.
But I mean, here's the thing.
There's a name
People
for it.
walking at the bottom of the bay are crazy because you don't know when that water's coming back, but it is coming back.
You think?
Of course.
Really?
It didn't disappear.
Well, it could be displaced and gone elsewhere.
Right, but it comes back.
Yeah.
Is it back now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
There's
water now.
There's a name for it. I can't remember the name.
It's like same thing happens when a tsunami's coming in.
The updraft.
When a
of the
tsunami's
hurricane.
coming in, because it's sucking up all the water and it's pulling it up and heightening it, it pulls all the water from the land. So all of a sudden, the ocean goes out. And that's one of those things. If you're ever at a tropical place or a place near the ocean, all of a sudden the ocean starts disappearing. You should be getting to high ground. Don't look, don't take pictures, get to high ground, or you're probably going to be dead. You know, in this case here, people had a lot more time because what it was the way the pressure system of the hurricane was, plus the way the wind was blowing. It was actually mostly the wind was blowing the water out. So once that wind stops, that water comes back.
With a vengeance.
Oh yeah, because it's it's like breaking
It's like
a
an
dam.
elastic band.
Yeah.
You pull the elastic band and then it smacks you.
Exactly. So you don't know how long that water is going to be out there. So if you're, saying, "Oh, I get to walk along the bottom of the bay because it's empty," you're crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phil says it's referred to as the updraft of the hurricane.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Crazy. So, okay, we've talked about England and their craziness. I was watching Lark Davis. Do any of you guys watch him? He does a crypto update. I know we haven't had a crypto update in a while. And it's funny. I see that Len's on messaging saying he popped in to say he's got some shirts and stuff for the crew. Was thinking that Lark had this whole amazing thing on about the big investment firms are during this bear market putting in desks to be able to handle cryptocurrencies, crypto exchanges, Bitcoin in particular. They're in the background building the infrastructure. So it just borderline is like, yeah, these bear markets on some levels, there's a lot of world events that are taking place to contribute to this. So it's not all, this is not a conspiracy theory, but they certainly are taking advantage of this bear market to all jockey for their positions as they build the infrastructure. And we've said this all along. They needed the money. They proved to themselves that this is worth looking at. And now they're back in the back end building the infrastructure to take advantage of it. So,
Well, I mean, you want to have the infrastructure in place when regulation finally comes in, because once all of the pension funds and teachers unions and all of that stuff starts buying Bitcoin, then you're going to, it's going to change the story completely.
yeah. Anyways, so pretty exciting stuff. Jill says she likes Lark. He does a good. Have you watched any of Lark Davis's stuff?
Yeah, he's funny. He's amusing.
He is amusing. Ken, have you seen any of him?
Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff.
You don't like him?
No.
Why?
I think he's made a couple of bad calls.
I think everybody's made a couple of bad calls.
Yeah, but when you make a bad call and it's obvious,
Yeah. What bad call do you think he made? Which one?
Oh, I can't remember. I remember Nay got me watching them. I started watching them one time. I was just like, okay, you're calling the obvious.
Yeah. Phil follows Lark. I watch him from time to time. Plus, I watch Rob from Digital Asset News. Again, not Tim and I certainly aren't keeping up with it quite the same way we were 2 years ago. We just don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So let me interject here for a minute before I forget. And I hope, Dan Redbeard, you're still on here, because I was out, as you all know, I was out west last week, and I was driving up in Pemberton. I'm going to pause here and just kind of take a break for a minute. And I shot a video, and I put it on TikTok. I'm going to share this with you because I want everyone to see what it is for those of you who don't follow me on TikTok.
Redbeard's
Redbeard.
in. Redbeard's here,
so
Tim.
here, I don't know if this is going to come through or not, but okay, hang on. Hopefully it comes through.
So
The
today's
Darwin Award.
goes to the person who's putting up their Christmas lights. Notice the ropes on the left side and the right side. And yes, in Pemberton, BC, we have the official Monday winner of the Darwin Award.
So
Today's Darwin Award.
107,900 views I got. I am freaking out. I can't believe how many bloody views I got of that stupid thing. It's hilarious.
Nice.
So I was all excited to be able to tell Dan, the red, aka Redbeard, that he had that video that went kind of crazy, and so anyways, because he's been coaching Tim on kind of what to do to build a TikTok presence. So Dan, thank you, because he is so pleased with himself on that one video. I can't even believe how many views it got. It's
Get your
insane.
hopes up though, because you think, oh my gosh, the next one's going to be a bang out of the park too, and it's like, nope. Nope. It's just, you got those videos that just bring you right back down to reality, and it's like, dude, you know,
Yeah.
you had your hands in the wet cement at you know, the star on Hollywood Fame, and then you pulled your hands out too soon. It's like, damn.
Yeah, no, it's true. And just to circle back, yes, I do watch the Canadian Bitcoiners. I haven't in the last couple of weeks because I've been traveling like a lunatic, but that's why I said I'm feeling a slightly bit out of touch as to what's going on. And I wanted to thank Candace and Ken and Gary for taking the reins last week. And Tim and I were on an airplane coming home. Got an opportunity to see this beautiful, beautiful country. I was coast to coast. I was in Halifax one week and went right from Halifax. I was actually in a little place called Fox Harbor. I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of Fox Harbor, but I took a picture of a whole pile of foxes in Fox Harbor. It was crazy. Not just statues either, like foxes. I now know why they call it Fox Harbor. There's a boatload of them there.
Yeah, most
And-
of the people in Fox Harbor just don't care. They really don't give a fox.
There you go. And then I got out of there, and a couple days later the hurricane went through. I felt so bad for those folks down there. If you're from the East Coast, I hope things are going okay for you. We had one of the gals that works for me, her husband's got a little cafe, had a little cafe, and it got swept out into the ocean. It's completely gone. So I had a whole pile of my team did not have power for days on end, and we still have some that aren't quite completely back up to normal. So my heart goes out to all the folks on the East Coast, because it is really spectacular there. There's no two ways about it. And anyway, so that's crazy. And then I got to go to British Columbia because we had a food show out there, and then Tim joined me and we got to go up to Whistler, and I was working the whole time and he's out gallivanting, taking crazy videos. He went to the train wreck up there. I don't know if any of you have been to Whistler and gone to the train wreck or not, but it's kind of neat. Do you want to tell them what goes on at the train wreck?
Sure. Why don't I jump in?
Okay.
It was coming down in 1957 full of lumber from Lillooet, and it was coming through. It follows the river down. It was coming a little too fast and derailed. When it derailed, they didn't pull it out because it was deep in the bush. So what they did was they took in two big logging cranes and just simply took the box cars and just moved them off the track, let them roll wherever the case is. And it's become a natural sort of tourist attraction now. It's all graffitied up. You've got to do a hike in to get into it. And Red Bull, pardon me, has done photo shoots there, and it's quite the destination. It's really, really, really cool. I was with another Nancy's colleague's husband, and we couldn't find how to get in the normal way. So Google had me stop on this Trans-Canada Highway on one of these little gravel pull-offs where you'd pull off to stretch your legs or put your chains on for winter or whatever. And we went in the back way, and I'm telling you, man, it was like Billy Goat country. I'm hanging on to stuff and going down, and and it's the first time I've ever had one of those real hikes, and it was really, really, really cool. So
Should have had a GoPro, man. That would have been cool to
I
film.
know, but everyone's got me all freaked out about bears and stuff, right? So it's like I'm watching for bears, going, we hardly had any bars of service there, and because they were closed, they're not open that early. And I thought if we get into trouble, we're done. We're done. So
Well, think if those bars were open, you could have taken a bear for a beer.
Wow.
That's crazy. Hey, Teddy Gator grew up in Squamish, so Tim got to go on this.
There. Yeah,
we went to
stopped for the Starbucks
and the Sea to Sky gondola. And
guess who wouldn't go over the suspension bridge?
Who?
Me, afraid of heights. I went bouncing across it.
I did eventually go, but I had to walk. And
weight has its advantages when you get those little shits that are jumping up and down on it, and I go bouncing across. They hang on for dear life. Wait
till Tim takes you to Japan and you go across one of those glass bridges.
No.
I'd be afraid to go across it because I'd lose my footing and it would become like that rock in Raiders of the Lost Ark, just rolling everybody over on the suspension bridge.
I was watching a video. They have I can't remember where it was, but they have one of those glass bridge platform things, right? And it cracks as you walk across it. It's fake cracks. Freaks people out.
I know, and it is funny to watch, but it would be horrendous to be the one doing that. Yeah, I have such a problem going. And there's no rhyme to reason. Sometimes I'm okay going up, but horrible coming down on those gondolas. Sometimes I'm fine going up, or opposite, going down, but going up, I'm like, oh my God.
I'm the type of guy that gets in an elevator with people that I know, of course, and I'll jump up and down a couple of times just to get the springy going. And it's like people look at me and go, how old are you? And I'm going, well, when in Rome, So it's natural to want to do it on a suspension bridge.
Old enough to know better and young enough not to care.
Yeah. So Dan's from
geez, man. I wish I'd known that. Huh.
Yeah.
Or thought of it.
Anyways, you know what? It was a really, really neat time up there. And it's just, beautiful. The fact that I got an opportunity with my company to go coast to coast in 1 week, you realize both are unique and spectacular for their own very different ways. And yet you still feel very much like it's Canada. It's the oddest thing. You still feel like when you're in the East Coast, they're East Coasters, they're Maritimers, they are the salt of the earth people, but they have an essence of Canada to them. And it's the same when you go to BC. There's an essence there that you can't deny. And it's something special. And we need to really... We need to own it and recognize what a special place we live, because, this world is freaking scary, man. It is scary, but I never felt unsafe anywhere. And there's some weird places in BC, in downtown BC, but you know what? I didn't go anywhere near there. Everywhere else I went, I thought, I felt safe and comfortable, and I was part of
the hike. You wouldn't have felt so safe. You come across the sign on the nature trail that says Bobcat and Cougar, and you go,
I'm sure they would make you feel right at home, honey. They would have invited you to the kitchen table and gave you a seat.
Nancy, we're not talking about Winnie the fucking Pooh here. We're talking about,
banana bread.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a cougar now and then, Just saying.
No, not the type no.
I thought you ran into a couple of cougars up in the bar when I was in my conference, honey.
What?
Remember, you had a little run-in with some cougars in the bar.
No, I didn't have a run-in with anyone.
He's too old for cougars.
I was present for something that went on, but I didn't run into them. I didn't engage. Not me.
I didn't touch them. They touched me. That's all I got to say. That's
no touchy. No touchy.
And you know what? It's so funny because you act all innocent. But you also tell me all the time, I can read people. I'm good at reading people. Yeah, except for the women that are throwing themselves at you. You seem to not be able to read that situation.
It's because he doesn't care. He's married. What?
I like you better and better, Ken.
That's what happens. You don't understand that about us guys? When
I
we
don't-
are
why don't
happy
you
and
explain
content,
it?
a girl can throw herself at
Ken,
us,
what
and
the
we
hell
don't
have you
even
gotten
recognize.
yourself into?
No, he's okay. Let him say that again. So Ken, repeat yourself because I think that's wonderful.
If you are content with your partner, somebody could throw themselves at you. You're not really going to realize it.
Tim, is that how you feel?
Every day.
It's the men that recognize it. Those are the men you got to watch
But
out
what's
for.
the real lesson here? What you're saying, or that you've learned how to hide what you're really saying?
You know, I just think it's a fishing expedition, to tell you the truth, Candace. I don't think this is going to end well, no matter how we answer this question.
Either way, you got to catch your whopper.
Redbeard said
But-
cougars are very dangerous. I'm not sure which cougar we're talking about here.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
we hiked up from Whistler up to Green Lake, and we again took the nature trail, the Billy Goat excursion. Met a couple from Muskoka with their dog, but again, it's like at any point in time, and then there's this guy goes running through with his headset on. It's like, are you nuts? Like, how are you going to hear that stupid thing following you? You know, but
They don't. They stalk and hunt you, honey.
yeah, no shit. No shit. Yes, but no, but I couldn't get over the amount of Australians up there. Huge
Australian.
presence of-
I'd be more worried about the vampires, honey.
what?
To go off
You
the
know,
beaten
vampire
track.
bats are pretty dangerous. Just saying.
You know what?
Are there vampire bats in Canada? I thought they were in Africa.
I don't think so. There's a book written about, vampires. It was that teenage book called Twilight.
Well,
and
that
they
was in
they are in the
Seattle, right?
rainy.
Those weren't real vampires. Vampires do not sparkle. I'm sorry. They just don't.
I like to think they sparkle.
They do so. They shimmer and glow. Yo.
No, they do not.
They don't. They just all gray,
Stephanie
ashen.
The author of Twilight, she just had a funky dream. She didn't really know much about vampires, but she dreamt about these sparkly people. And she was like, oh, those must be vampires. I'll write a book about them.
There
So-
were vampires. They didn't drink blood, though, but they did have teeth that were fangs. I seen a thing on Facebook, some body that they discovered in some tomb or something. And the skeleton had extra long teeth,
Mhm.
2 fangs.
Is that, so they just assume because they've got the fangs that they suck blood? Is that how the myth started?
Yeah.
Or bite?
Well, I mean, there's a lot more to it. One of the big things is,
Imagine
When-
kissing a vampire
well,
with those
no,
fangs.
it's not even so much the fangs. What happens is a whole family of people have died. So they're like thinking, okay, well, why are they dying? And then they exhume one of the initial people who died. And this is like, 17th, 16th century. Well, when you die and you desiccate, your skin pulled back from your teeth. So it actually makes your teeth look a lot more pronounced. And so they used to pull people, they used to dig somebody up and then they'd see the teeth and they're like, oh, proof it's a vampire. And then they would do the stake and burn it and, cover it all up again and say, there, we killed a vampire because a vampire was feeding on everybody. When in reality, it was actually something more, more bacterial, like a TB or something.
So you're saying we don't have to worry about vampires, is what you're saying?
Well, they don't actually exist. They exist in literature. They exist in our minds. Perhaps they exist in our hearts, but they don't actually really exist.
Just like zombies.
It is Halloween. You are ruining it for the children that are watching this show.
I'm making up for it with pumpkins.
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Very festive. Very, very festive. It's interesting when you talk about literature and stuff like that. Our minds do go to strange places. Now, like I said to Tim, the reason I can't watch much scary stuff is because then my mind is so overly active that then I can extrapolate from like the littlest thing to this grandiose thing. So at night when it's dark outside and all the rest of it and you're walking around, if I was completely by myself, because I've read some of this stuff, that your mind does go to all those things that you read about. It's in there, it really is. I can't. That's why I can't watch scary stuff. It takes me a long time to get rid of that.
I have a proposal.
What's your proposal?
So the 26th of October is the last Wednesday before Halloween.
Yes.
We should all go dressed up to the stream. Like, we should all wear costumes.
Me and Nancy did last year.
Yeah,
Did
we
we
did,
not?
didn't we?
Yeah, we were the only two.
You know, like
Ryan didn't wear one.
I got, I'll wear something if you guys want to. I mean, Tim would make a perfect scarecrow. It wouldn't even need much of a costume. Just a couple little pieces of straw.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to be on the stream on the 26th. I'm not here again next week, I'm not here again.
What do you mean you're not here next week? What?
I am not here.
When are you going to tell me that?
Probably the 16th of November.
What?
Oh,
She's gonna
wow.
let you know Tuesday night.
So then it'll just be the three of us all dressed up in costume.
Maybe you should invite a few other people that want to join in costume, and you can talk about Halloween type things.
We can.
I've got a client. I've got a client. I found out today. He writes content for he's a Bitcoiner and an Ethereum, and he writes content for Netcoins and for damn it. Who else did I say, Nance? He writes content for crypto. He's a crypto content writer.
So he said he'd come on. Gary
Yeah, he's really kind of a cool guy.
obviously wants to sub in again. He's ready to come in, and he'll wear a costume. I'm sure he'll. Gary, what do you want to be? What are you going to dress up as?
Well, it's not next week.
No, the
What's
26th. On the 26th. We'll all wear costumes because obviously the chat wants us all to wear costumes.
Yes, they do. Tim, I'm sure we can find you something to make you look festive.
Well,
you put your hockey helmet on.
What the hell do you mean by that?
Be a hockey player.
Or he could be the villain from Die Hard who falls from the building.
I think Nancy was getting to the point of walking and chewing bubblegum at the same time.
Maybe, Tim, maybe.
And saying asparagus real fast.
So I will say this. We do have a couple. I know I'm going to be away again for a little bit of time.
Yeah, we've heard. Jesus, where the hell are you going now?
Work's a little hectic. There's a lot of events going on. It's like the world opened up, and then it's like, okay, we're going to squeeze all the events in this short period of time, and Nancy, you have to be at everything. So anyhow, what I did want to tell you is Tim and I've lined up some guest speakers. So Tim has alluded to that he's got a new fella that he's just met that we're going to bring on. I have a girlfriend of mine who started a really, really cool business during the pandemic when she was laid off from work. And it has expanded exponentially. And she sells her product through Indigo, Chapters in Indigo. She's got a very, very active social media following. I think she's got 100,000 people that follow her. Some crazy number. I'm exaggerating at this moment in time, except that I don't think I'm really exaggerating that much. And she's written a book, and they've published a book on her product. So she is going to be coming on in November to talk to us. Again, it's this whole idea of people who've done really crazy, cool things with their side hustle throughout the pandemic, and that they've really taken off. So I checked in with Anthony, and he's all safe down in Florida. So this is, really good people that we've been running into and meeting up with. And I've got a very, very, very special guest that we have booked for December 7th. This guy is
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Ken and Candace and I are going to have to do some preview videos on this guy, because this guy is absolutely very, 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 very well connected. And so anyways, he is a guru in the internet world. And we are we happened to be at my conference. He was one of the keynote speakers, and I got talking to him, and he said, I would love to come on. I said, we don't even have 1,000 subscribers. He goes, don't even worry about it. I would love to come on and talk with your crew. So he's going to be on December 7th. for our Danter Banter / Crypto Night in Canada, and we will lead you into this. This is a very, very cool guy, so I'm really, really excited. And anyways,
Yeah, it may or may not be Kevin Bacon.
It better not be Sean Penn, because I'm still waiting for him to come on my show.
You know, the five degrees of separation thing.
Oh, right. No, it's neither Sean Penn nor Kevin Bacon. I will let Sean Penn go
Kevin
on your
Spacey.
show.
Danny DeVito? It better not be Danny DeVito either, because I've been
Kevin Spacey
a
and
hell
his
of a hard time getting him on.
Kevin Spacey and his peduncle.
No Kevin Spacey.
I gave a clue earlier when I described him, and none of you guys picked up on my clue except for probably Candace, because I already told Candace who it is.
Yeah, the clue is the word connected.
Gary
What's
Busey?
that word? See what you come up with.
Oh, Gary Busey, Redbeard. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can get him on my
How
show.
did you figure that out? Yes, it is Gary Busey.
Nick Nolte.
He's going to be on here yelling at us and acting crazy.
Anyways, you guys are so funny. He would be crazy to have on. So we've got a lot of really, really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. I know I have every confidence and faith that next week and the week after that these guys can hold the fort down for me while I'm gone again. I really, really appreciate it. Candace, congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. What are you at? What's your count at now?
I think it's 1022 maybe.
So it's gone up and away from 1,000.
Yeah, it's doing its thing, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I had the drunk stream last week, so
That was funny.
It was a good stream. If nobody's seen it in the chat, have a look. It was
That was
good.
good. Yeah. No,
Candace.
I did get drunk.
Yeah, but you know what? You were respectable. You weren't silly, and
Well, she was silly for Candace.
well,
Silly for me.
she was funny. It was clean. It was a good, clean stream. I liked it. It was funny.
Exactly. I mean, just somebody who goes around saying banana bread is probably not going to get too bad as a drunk.
No. Anyways, well, that was good. So what do you got coming up on your show?
Well, tomorrow, I had a couple community members who keep on saying, I want you to do Quadra Invest. I want you to do Quadra Invest. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I even had people saying, I've actually talked to all of these YouTubers and they just won't do it. What about you? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I do what you guys want. That's what I'm here for. So tomorrow we're going to talk about Quadra Invest. And I will be back this weekend. So we will have the Saturday stream, and we will, of course, have the live stream, since I kind of missed that last week where I took a weekend off.
Nice.
We also have, and the Saturday stream, by the way, I know what it is already. It's the Q&A. So I have had people submit questions. If you still have questions, you can still get them in, because I don't film it till Friday. So any questions I do receive before Friday, I will try to include in that video.
Nice. Did you use my suggestion? Are you looking into my stock that I said?
Right, but that's a different thing.
Okay.
That's a deep dive. It's deep dive.
It's a deep dive. Okay.
That's a deep dive. I think I actually added your deep dive to the schedule already.
Nice.
So I think your deep dive is actually next Thursday.
Okay. I'm not here,
But
but
I do have
will
a whole
find it.
bunch. I do have a whole bunch of suggestions. There's one suggestion I'm not doing. Some certain person asked me to do this thing that's used to prevent babies, and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
It just doesn't reflect well on the channel.
I wanted you to look at them and see if they are
A safe bet?
another. They're never a safe bet. Who belongs to them? Like,
We see that's the type of investment. If it goes wrong, you've got babies.
yeah. Well, no, I was wondering if there's a bigger company that owns them.
Like Johnson & Johnson or something.
Probably.
Bingo, something like that. That's what I'm wondering.
Okay, I get it.
And you can't just go to a wiki search.
No, you're the stock person. You want suggestions. I gave you a suggestion.
Candace, that would be a no.
Now, what about doing a deep dive on President's Choice?
That
Log
one,
laws?
yeah. Well, Loblaws is owned, I believe, by West Fair Foods out of Winnipeg, but
Is that
The Weston family.
Weston family?
I believe
They
so.
own a whole bunch of subsidiary companies. They own
That's what I mean. That would be a really big dive.
MedBuy, that is a derivative of Shoppers Drug Mart. They own a lot of their verticals that they play in. I know because we deal with them. So
See, these are all the people who are really good at Monopoly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Who owns Shoppers Drug Mart?
Weston's.
Oh, so they bought Shoppers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But are they smart choice as well? The real estate?
I don't know. You'd have to. I'm not the one doing the deep dive. That's a Candace. That's a Candace jar job. Jar
that's
job for
Exactly. And I
Candace.
haven't done the
Big
deep dive
dive.
yet, so I don't have a
That's
lot of
gonna-
answers
yeah.
yet. on
That's
that
going to be a big dive.
And Gary, do they own Canada Bread?
They must. Weston, yeah, up in
No.
I think they might. Weston Bread. Yeah, because it's up on Victoria in Kitchener, and it's just
I
just
know,
at the
but
expressway there. It's called
I-
Weston Bread.
just hang on a second though, Tim. I'm not completely sure. I think they were bought out by a company called Bimbo, which is a Mexican organization. I think Bimbo bought them out. You know, Bimbo, what you gonna do, yo? Bimbo.
No, and the Uncle Bobby show.
And the Uncle Bobby show. Most people don't remember that. Ken, do you remember watching the Uncle Bobby show first thing on the Sunday morning?
No.
And he used to sing a Oh my God. And they used to sing that song,
Oh,
Bimbo,
let's throw
Bimbo,
out a
what you
boomerang.
gonna do, yo?
Now, was that
Bimbo.
on television or was that back when they had the radio shows?
Puppets.
Thank you, Candace. Thank you.
It actually was puppets.
No, I'm serious. I just don't know. I've never heard of that before.
The
I
Uncle
think,
Bobby show.
Apollo, I think she has done Vanguard, to be honest with you.
Mom,
done
I do. I came
Vanguard?
from Nova Scotia too, so we had slightly different shows.
Candace, you've done Vanguard as a deep dive, haven't you?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
Vanguard.
Yeah.
Vanguard is done, which is great because whenever I get somebody who requests one I've already done, I just send them back. I reply with the link.
So let me ask you a question. Is BlackRock someone that we worry about who's going to buy up all the real estate?
I'm not worried about them. I mean, they'll buy a certain amount, but they're not. It's not this heinous, insidious plan like a lot of people on the internet want to make it sound like. They don't have any secret agenda to buy all of the properties and then create a monopoly on renting. That's just that's more or less tinfoil hat type stuff that you may hear on the internet. But I mean, they are an investment company. They will buy properties if it makes sense.
Right.
As any other company would too. Just to be clear on that.
Mhm.
So no, BlackRock is not. It's not a concern for me.
What happened? Oh,
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
Is this Bimbo the clown?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you guys hear that?
Nope. Is your volume up on it? Click on the actual thing.
The
On
Uncle
YouTube itself.
Bobby Show.
The volume, Nance.
The volume.
Okay.
What do you
It
mean?
should be coming through, eh, Ken?
Yeah, it should be. The volume was full on that YouTube video.
Maybe I have to stop screen sharing. Do I have to show the,
Just do the tab.
what do you mean?
Hmm.
Let me do it.
It present. Do I hit present screen
Tab.
or
Go to the
video
right.
file? Present screen. Is that what I'm doing, honey?
That's what you want.
Chrome
present
tab.
screen.
Chrome tab. There it is. Okay, here we go. That's what I have to do. Okay, you're ready?
It's amazing what happened when you bring up the Uncle Boopy show.
Can you hear it?
Because Bunny is along today to read the Bunny books. There's the brolly.
Can you hear
Hang
it?
on the hook.
Yeah.
You don't shut when I knock the door.
Open up, Bimbo, please.
Come on out, Bimbo, please.
Ah, we get the words right.
Yeah. Oh, come on out, and you can all shout with Darling.
Come on out, Bimbo, please.
Come on then, baby. You can do it. Here's an introduction just for Bimbo.
Introducing Bimbo, the birthday clown, and son of Happy. Bimbo, bimbo, I'm about to go. Bimbo, bimbo, here's Uncle Bobby Show. Bimbo, bimbo, I would like to say to you and you a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, boys and girls.
There's Bimbo the birthday clown.
I kind of suddenly never want to have a birthday again.
Oh, that was invented. The idea came when somebody was on acid. That was just wow. No, I've never seen that.
Gary, you never know.
But I do remember Sir Graves Ghastly, I think his name was.
Was that the
Hey.
guy?
He hosted horror shows or something.
He looked like he belonged on the Monkees.
Honestly, that was what, and you used to as a kid. I remember people would go, "Oh, I heard my name get called out on my birthday on the Uncle Bobby show." Like, think about, no wonder we're messed up a little bit. Like, that's what we were watching. We thought it was fabulous.
You call it fabulous? I call
Was
it.
that Nancy in the video? No, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, that's not even funny. I was a little girl.
Actually.
I was a little girl then, and I would sit in front of the TV and I'd watch Uncle Bobby on Sunday mornings. That's why I call my umbrella the Brawly, because he called it the Brawly. Anyways,
Okay.
so Bimbo, but not the Bimbo the clown, but Bimbo is owned by owns or bought Canada Bread. So I don't think it's the Weston family that owns that anymore. So you could look them up because I think they're a publicly traded company too. That's how we got off the rails.
I got a rant. I got a driving rant for all the 24 people here. Don't go away, you 24 people that are in the chat right now, because I got something really, really important. First of all, I'm pissed off at Waze because I got on the highway. I'm heading to Brantford the other day, and Waze is the system that is used by a gazillion Wazers that are supposedly in your community that can't send a message and update the Waze to tell you that you're about to go into a 30-minute delay that's blocked because of a crash. What's with technology? That's number one. Number two, before I get to the crash, there's always an appetizer of a pre-crash. You know the pre-crash that happens with the rubberneckers? You know those dum-dums that, aren't paying attention and rear-end each other? Well, I had two cars that rear-ended each other in the slow lane just at Walker's Line the other day. Absolutely zero damage. Zero damage. I'm in the right lane, and I have to use the shoulder. We all have to use the shoulder to go around these two cars that should move over to the shoulder. That's what you do, folks. No personal injury under $2,000 damage. Move it over to the shoulder. That's not what got me. What got me was the fearfulness of what these two ladies were doing. Now, you understand what happens when one car rear ends another one. They bang and they leave a spot between the front bumper and back bumper of the cars. You with me? You visualize that? I don't have to get out the pen and paper, do I?
They're in between the bumpers.
They're standing between the fucking bumpers. Are you nuts? Do you understand what happens if that car gets rear-ended? Holy
banana bread.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. Folks, if you're ever in a crash, whatever province you're coming from, in Ontario, $2,000 or less, not a lot of damage, no personal injury, get it off onto the shoulder. You're doing the rest of the motoring public a favor, and you're staying safe. If you're ever in a situation where you can't move it, don't get out and have a chitty-chatty and get on the phone to whomever. Sit in your driver's seat, belted in. It is the safest place for you to be. There's my rant.
That just goes to show you still can't teach stupid.
But it's free enterprise.
I can't believe they got out and stood between their two cars.
Yeah, now I've seen some. Well, Gary, I'm sure Gary has too, because we're in the driver training field. But we're privy to some videos, and I've seen that actually happen in the aftermath, and it's not cool. It is not cool at all. It's one of those.
Not if you want to keep your legs. I'm like, if you don't want to keep your legs.
Well, that's if you survive. That's if you survive.
Get an accident like that, you could just bleed out right then and there.
That's right. That's right. Anyway.
Well, that's good. That is a very good safety tip, Tim. Ken, how is your new YouTube channel going?
I don't know. I haven't put any content out in like 3 weeks.
Did you just put out the one piece?
Yeah. I'm going to be releasing more though. I've decided I'm not going to edit nothing. I'm not going to blur anything out. I'm just going to be as it may.
So when you were saying you were going to
next
blur things out, is it because it gets graphic sometimes what you see?
No, it's copyright for company names, right?
Yeah, that's why I was doing it.
Yeah.
But now I don't care. I'm just going to put it out there. Whatever.
Yes.
I looked at the employee handbook, right? And there's nothing in there about not recording. So
I thought maybe there was like graphic things that go on in your job. Because
no, I wanted the company name, any identifying features of me working for that company to be blurred out. But now I don't care because it's public view. If they want to say anything, I'll be like, well, it's public view. I got my own lawyers. We got lawyers in the union. So I can always go to the lawyers, So
well, that's good. So you're working away at more content.
yeah.
And are you slower now at work?
Yeah. It's slowing down. The rest of the beach toilets are going to be pulled in 2 weeks. Yeah, today I was done at like 4:00 instead of like 8. So yeah, we're
Are you
slowing
making
down.
the cut to stay on over the winter?
What's that?
Have you made the cut to stay on over the winter?
Oh,
You're not
yeah.
being laid off? Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm still good. Yeah.
that's good.
Well, that's good.
How's,
Are you worried? Are either of you worried about the economic impact of what's happening?
me?
Not in the least.
Really? No.
No. My girlfriend, remember I always have a couple of people that I get litmus tests from. And my one girlfriend, her brother is a trustee in bankruptcy. And
Excuse you.
And now for the weather.
and so I saw her last night and she works for him and she does all the prep work and she does tax returns. She does all sorts of stuff, works in his office with him. And all through this whole last 2 years, I'd say to her, how busy are you? How busy are you? Are you busy? What's going on? She goes, I'm not that busy, And she said, Nancy, everything you kept saying, everything you kept asking, your whole theory about everything, the wall of debt is now upon people. And it is she is so busy, she can hardly keep up. She's got more people walking through the door than they've ever had, even more than they had in 2008, 2009. And she said the amount of debt of what people have taken on is astronomical. And she said people bought homes that they really, really, really couldn't afford. And I love that she's using the temptation cat treats there. I feel like there's going to be a cat that's going to jump over and above and like it's going to be like a TV commercial happening.
Well, no, I didn't want people to think I was being rude and eating treats on the thing, so I had to show it just enough the temptation so people would get the full picture that I was, getting a cat to stop purring and headbutting my leg until it treats.
Yeah. So it's insane. Like it's absolutely insane. She says, what is coming in? The wall of debt and the sad stories of people who misunderstood what they could take CERB for. And so now the government is going back in a very, very large way, trying to get their money back for people that didn't understand that they should not have been taking that. And so she said, it is crippling people. And so it is really, really unfortunate. And, and she has an abnormally large amount of seniors who didn't understand. It's just, it's bad.
Look at all these people that took out the liquidity loans from their mortgage, right? The value of their house. And, interest rates still could be 5% in 4 or 5 years too, right? So, yeah, it's a worst case scenario because there's going to be a lot of people in debt.
It's bad. She said it's really bad. And now you think that okay, just even, we're not even going to talk about just the common occurrences, but look at the fallout. If you had borrowed against your home in Canada to buy a place in Florida, maybe you were almost that retirement age and you wanted to get yourself a place going in Florida. Can you imagine if you were anywhere in that hurricane zone that took out and damaged those buildings? Like there is some like mass destruction. Like they're not going to be able to rebuild there for years and years and years. And you've just completely lost everything. It's just gone because most people didn't have flood insurance there. So you go to even the East Coast, a lot of people moved there because they could sell their homes in Ontario to move back out there so they could buy a place there. And just mass destruction has happened in both of these places.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another big thing that's going to strike everybody as well is as oil starts getting expensive again, it's going to reinflate those PCI numbers. So they're not as good as we think they are. And as a result, that means rate hikes are going to continue to be aggressive, which is going to drive those interest rates up pretty darn fast. So people will be paying a lot more interest on their debt.
Yeah.
Big time.
So in other words, if you have debt right now, pay off your high interest debt, get it out of there, get it done as fast as you can.
I don't know. It's really crazy. This is really crazy times we're living in. And it doesn't feel good. No, have you noticed that there's an underlying current that just nothing feels that great right now? Have you noticed that? People seem grumpier. People seem more tired. They just don't seem like a happy-go-lucky. Unless of course, you're on Ken's show on Friday night. And after they've all had a few wobbly pops and some little puffs on their special sticks, then they all seem happy-go-lucky.
Hell yeah. That's what it's there for.
I just don't get out a lot, so
You're
I'm in my
fine.
studio most of the time. So
In your own world, living in your bubble.
yeah.
I just put $20,000 on my mortgage. So
Did you?
Wow, good for you.
and I got another 10 still to go.
Good for you, Ken.
Attaboy.
Good for you. Anyways, I'm not understanding Gary's train of thought over here. Gary, are you working for Uber and Lyft? Like, does he work for these places? I thought he was a.
No, he's
No.
doing training or whatever it is.
It's the
training.
The city of Toronto has a course. It's like the taxi course that Ken used to run in Mississauga. It's the same thing that Uber and Lyft have to do with DW out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, at least I know we're all going to be poor in the winter months, or we're feeling like it, and it feels but at least we get to see each other every Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Have some fun.
Every
Have
Friday
some
night,
giggles.
Saturday night, Saturday,
Yep.
Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon.
And in costume on the
Sunday.
25th.
And Sunday we can go to Candace. Kid, we can come here.
Turn down your heat, put on some socks and some sweaters to make sure you can afford your internet, and we'll be here.
Hey, you know what we should do? Just before Christmas, we should do a Christmas pajama party.
Oh,
We'll all
cool.
be in fun pajama. Hey, you know what else we haven't done? We haven't done any one of those crazy food concoction things.
We should do one of those. I
No.
also have tips on how to watch YouTube videos. So
You
when you
do?
go to watch a YouTube video, this is what you should do. So you tune into my video. As the commercial's going, go get a drink. Don't hit the skip button. Just go get a drink. If it's a 30-minute commercial, because they do happen, go walk the dog. Come back. I will be there for you.
30-minute commercial,
Yeah, they have 30-minute
Yeah.
commercials.
like an infomercial.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much an infomercial.
I have run into them so much, but now that because my revenue on YouTube is if people watch the ads, I get paid. If they don't, I don't. So it's like, hey guys, just go for a walk.
That's funny, Candace. I think they want you to watch the ads a little bit too. Some of the ads on YouTube are actually really pretty good.
Some of them are absolute garbage, but that's ads in general.
Yeah.
But
That's
usually,
life in
I know
general.
anytime I'm watching somebody whose channel I do support, and they have, before I got Prime, our Prime premium, I would watch their ads. You know, I'd let them run. I wouldn't actually watch them. I'd do something else while the ads run, just because I know that that's where their revenue comes from. So just one of those little things I put out there.
I do sometimes too. I let the ads run.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, on that lovely note, thank you guys so much for another great evening. To find Candace, she's at Candace Mountain, as you all know, or Mountain Finance. Sorry, Candace Mountain is her name. Mountain Finance is her game. Candace Mountain is her name. Mountain Finance is her game. I'm a limerick.
And you know what, Nancy? She's coined a phrase. She calls her community the Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers.
I've never actually settled on a name for the community.
That's kind of cool. I like it. I think it's totally apropos.
It probably is absolutely applicable, but you know, it's better than calling them banana bread heads, because in my world, if I call you a banana bread head, it usually means that you're a little bit of a wanker.
I wouldn't call your community that then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wanker.
Anyways, and of course, thank you, Ken, as always, for your time. Thank you, Tim Danter. Thank you to everybody for watching, and we will see you on the flip side next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.